Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. Today we are going to be canning up raw stew meat. It's probably about the simplest thing I've ever canned before, and all you do is you just take the raw stew meat, put it in the jar, wipe down the lid, or wipe down the rim rather, lid it up and throw it in the canner. That's all there is to it. You don't add any liquid to it. You don't add anything, salt, you add salt to it. But other than that, you don't add anything to it, and you just cook it, and then you have a nice pint of stew meat ready to go anytime you want to. So we're gonna go ahead and just jump right in. Okay, so we have the jars all packed in there. That probably would have been a better angle. Okay, so we have all the jars packed and loaded, ready to go. And now all we're going to do is just add a half of a teaspoon of salt. You don't have to add the salt. It is only for flavor. It doesn't do anything for preserving or anything like that. But I like food very, very salty. So, add it. And next, we're going to take our vinegar water and just rub the rims of each one with a paper towel. Okay, so now we just make sure these are the new ones here. Yep. So now all we're going to do is just put a lid on each one. Look at that. Now we're just going to put the ring on each one and put them in the canner. You want to go ahead and tighten them fingertip tight, which you just want to use these 3 fingers, and as tight as you can practically get it without cranking it down and into the canner. Normally with most of the recipes that I do, they are going to be like a hot pack. And so the water in there normally is hot, but since this is cold pack, it's cold water. The idea is just to reduce it from shocking the jars and cracking. Well, we're short a jar. I guess the wide mouth only fits 8. I didn't know that. So, dinner. And we just do the lid. Okay. So, with this, we're just going to look through here. Make sure you can see. There we go. On and crank it up, and we're going to get this to where this is venting and steaming a lot for 10 minutes, and then we're going to put the weight on it, and then we're going to go ahead and process it. I think it was 75 minutes, but I'm going to double check that. So I'll bring you back when this starts to vent. Alright, so this thing is beginning to vent, but this thing hasn't popped yet. On my particular canner, this thing pops up. I know if you have an All-American or something, you won't have that little thing, I don't believe. So you're just going to want to get this going to a nice big stream, and then you're going to set the timer for 10 minutes. So this thing, I can tell, is just about to pop. That's why I turned on the camera here. Got the timer ready to go. So this part of the steaming and the venting process is really important. You don't want to rush it, because the whole idea, you'll see later on, is that it lets out little puffs of steam. You can hear the little puff of steam that's going to come out. There it goes. Alright, so now we're going to set the timer. So, and then this is going to get even thicker and bigger, because it's not coming out of here and here, it's just coming out of here. So you want to make sure that you don't rush this process at all, because it's pushing all the air out of the actual canner here, and it's replacing it with steam. And you could hear that little bit of a sputter there. And if you rush the process and put the weight on too soon, it won't get all the air out, and it won't allow it to get up to the temperature that you need it to get up to in order to safely process the meat. So make sure that you let it go for the full 10 minutes. I don't know if it's picking up those sounds, but it's making those sounds that I was talking about. Oh, I'm sure you heard that one. Okay, so that has vented for 10 straight minutes. And now, I'm just going to put that on there, and any second now, you can see the pressure's rising pretty quickly. Can you? Yeah. So probably in about less than 2 minutes, this thing's going to start jiggling. And that's when we're going to start our timer. So you can kind of see now it's just starting. I usually like to let it get up just a little bit and then turn it down. My stove, an 8 will keep the heat in there just right. It's usually just a little below 8, but this stove is super finicky, so I'm trying to be cautious. Most stoves, I would imagine, you can probably get it to sit right on like the 11-pound mark or so. My stove is either like 12 or 13 or like 9. So I just kind of usually settle right around this time. It doesn't need to jiggle quite that much, but if I turn it down any more, then it's just going to drop blood pressure. So I kind of have to have it a little bit high. So now we're going to go ahead and start it at 75 minutes. And I will bring you back when we're ready for the next step. The beef has finished the pressure canning cycle, and I let it cool down. I turned it off and let it cool down for probably 20 minutes or so until this had read 0 for probably at least 5 minutes or so, and then I took off the weight, and then now we're just gonna go ahead and release the steam. Remember to release it away from you because it's a lot of steam. Yay, no broken jars. 3 for 3 in 2 days. That's awesome. Now set that aside somewhere to cool. And these are already starting. You can hear them in there. So now they're boiling away. And I'll show you one, but I'm going to wait till I have one that the lid is not totally full. This one looks alright. Oh. I don't think that one's gonna seal. You can see it had a lot of liquid loss and it's not boiling at all. So I think that one is probably not gonna seal, unfortunately. There's a good one. Going crazy. And this one doesn't have a lot of liquid, but it's still boiling. Another boiler. There we go. Canned meat. Took almost no time whatsoever. And these are all ready to go in the pantry, and we can just pull them off anytime we want to make some kind of stew or something like that. Well, I will bring you back once these actually cool off completely. So that'll be tomorrow. I'm just going to leave them on the counter undisturbed. Well, I'm probably going to disturb them to move them one more time to get them out of the way, but that's about it. And I will bring you back once these have cooled off and solidified. Here is our canned up stew meat, all ready to go. There wasn't a tremendous amount of fat in these ones, but we have all the jars here and they're ready to go on the shelf. Just need to wash them up, remove these lids here, or these rings, and then they'll be ready to go on the pantry shelf for meals in the future. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below if you feel led to. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.